Hey guys, I just wanted to show you a new app. It's a PS2 batch ISO renamer. They can be called anything you want and it'll do its magic and rename the file accordingly. So there is an app on one of the major PS2 forums. Basically when you double click it, it'll just rename all your ISOs into their game IDs. It's pretty useless. When you get them, they're generally already named by their game ID. And when you do have them correctly named, you can open up the OPL tool and you can switch between their old naming format and the new naming format. Previously they wanted the format to be like a game ID followed by game title.iso. So now though they just want game title like that. You can switch between them both, but it has to be named with the game title to begin with. It can't just take it as a game ID and then give it the game title. So the only other option I did manage to find was an Excel file made a few years ago by someone on another forum. It's got embedded macros in it, Visual Basic macros. Basically, few drawbacks. One, it won't work in the later Windows and later Offices. Last time I had to do a bulk rename, I did end up moving them across to an old Sony Vaio with Windows 7 on it. The other drawback is even when it works, it's very slow and sluggish, and usually people will have 4, 5, 6, 700 games they want to rename at least a couple hundred, and this would only do a handful of games like that at a time. So I'd have to make a subfolder, subdirectory, run the program until it clunked out and renamed a few files, move them into the subdirectory, run the Excel file again, move the files it renamed, and I'd have to do that pretty much a bit at a time until I was through the entire lot. Now the beauty of this is you just double click it. It works off this game ID here, and that's it. This is like a lookup table for it, and it'll rename all the files quite quickly. I've just released a version 1.1 here. I'll link this in the video, which sort of covers multi-disc games. I have an issue with this when I'm uploading them onto the PS2 hard drive with the OPL tools as well, but anyway, that's a different story. Basically the problem is disc 1 and disc 2 will both have the same game ID. Now whichever one this finds first will just get the game title, and the second one it comes across is going to have disc 2 whacked onto the end of it, regardless of if disc 2 is actually disc 2 or disc 1, if that makes sense. Anyway, it's open source. If you want to make changes to it, I'll just demonstrate it quickly. There it goes. Game name successfully, yada yada yada, and there we have it. So yeah, it's a pretty handy tool. There's Dawn of Dreams disc 1 and 2, and yeah, it's open source. If you do anything with it, just make sure you give me credit, and that's about it. It's going to be a real lifesaver for some people. Enjoy.